Hello, my name is Darcy Atkins. I'm a 19-year-old ambitious musician from the North Shore, and this is my assignment on the music industry. For this assignment, I took on the perspective of a record label, evaluating the most effective business strategies to individualize their artist and maximize the commercial success of their product, the signed musician. The music industry is filled with competition, with bands around every corner. For this assignment, I wanted to use the economic frameworks and the business analytical tools that I've learned to deconstruct what makes a band successful. Looking through the lens of social media content, advertising spend, and live music to evaluate the most effective ways I can individualize my artist, I've constructed a robust data set to answer the following questions. How does social media influence growth? How often should an artist post on Instagram or TikTok to attract users? How much money should I invest in adverts? And what is the best approach for advertisement? To predict what causes growth and ultimately profit, I have created a list of 100 hypothetical bands with randomized names. I then subsequently added a column for the band's budget, ad spend, the amount of TikToks posted per week, Instagram posts per week, and YouTube adverts per month. The social engagement score, a score out of 100, the number of shows per year, average audience attendance, average ticket price, total ticket revenue, and finally the total profit. All this data was created via a long list of prompts through ChatGPT. Most musical artists operate in a monopolistic competition setting, where many artists offer slightly differentiated products like music styles, sounds, and visuals, but compete for the same consumers. Entry into this market is easy, as new artists can join the market via social media and startup gigs. However, reflecting real-world monopolistic competition, success is hard. The goal of a record label is to elevate the artist to a level of popularity where they can achieve market power. Bands with high social engagement and strong revenue often show real market power. They can charge higher ticket prices and still draw crowds, not through heavy ad spend, but through brand loyalty. Their reputation does the work, not their budget. My first regression shows a clear link between social media engagement and ticket pricing power. As a band's online presence and the fan interaction grow, so does their ability to charge more for live shows. Interpreting this data, for every 1 point increase in social engagement, the ticket price increases by approximately 0.45 cents or dollars. So in calculation, a band with a social engagement score of 80 is predicted to charge $36 more than a band with a score of 0. The R squared value highlights that 80% of the ticket price variation can be explained by the engagement. It is clear that popularity isn't just about views, it's directly translated to revenue, highlighting both the power but also the necessity of social media for popularity. In my second regression, I wish to find a relationship between ad spend and profit in order to find the most optimal approach to advertisement spend. However, with the very weak correlation and only 7.4% of the variation in profit being explained by changes in ad spend, this regression suggests that ad spend alone does not determine profit in my dataset. It must be noted, though, that while most bands rely on significant ad investment to drive profit, there are a number of bands which stand out. Using conditional formatting, I highlighted in red the bands with the lowest 25% of ad spend. I then highlighted in green the bands which generated the top 25% of profit. This allowed me to locate 5 bands which generated strong returns while using minimal spending on promotion. These 5 bands hold the greatest market power in this monopolistic competition, with strong brand recognition and a deep, loyal audience. My third regression reveals a much stronger explanation for profit. This regression reveals that social engagement and live performance metrics are the strongest predictors of a band's profitability. The regression analysis shows that social engagement, number of shows per year, and average audience size all have significant positive relationships with profit, while ad spend has a negative impact, suggesting diminishing returns or overspending. With an R squared of 0.81, this model explains over 80% of the variation in profit, indicating a strong reliability. This suggests that bands with loyal audiences and strong online presence can generate high profit with minimal advertisement, highlighting the value of brand strength and community building over paid promotion. In a world of social media content, this is highly achievable. The consumer and producer relationship is innate for musicians. Producers or artists who make choices about how much to invest in social media content and advertising to influence demand. Posting more often or creating engaging content is a strategy to attract attention, grow a fan base, and increase revenue. Consumers or fans express this demand through follows, shares, and ticket purchases. Their choices are shaped by what they see online. I use these pivot tables to help me find the most optimal amount of content an artist should create in order to increase this demand. On TikTok, engagement rises from 50 at 0 to 2 posts to 73 at 6 to 8 posts, then dips slightly beyond that, suggesting a sweet spot. On Instagram, engagement steadily climbs from 57 up to 81 with 9 to 11 posts, showing that more frequent posting continues to pay off. My artists should aim for 6 to 8 TikToks per week and go higher on Instagram where engagement keeps scaling, sorry. For YouTube adverts, the relationship with engagement is less linear. Bands running no ads average 60 on engagement. However, when they invest 1 to 2 ads per month, that jumps to nearly 68, the highest in the group. But interestingly, at 3 to 5 ads, engagement drops slightly to around 64. This suggests that a small, strategic amount of advertising may be more effective than heavy ad saturation. In short, quality over quantity matters. A few well-placed YouTube ads can drive strong engagement without overspending. Through this project, I demonstrated key employability skills, data analysis, critical thinking, and communication. I created key questions, then found database answers to ground my investigation. I turned complex data sets into clear insights using tools like pivot tables and regressions to guide my decision making and presented my findings in a concise and engaging way. From the way I presented to the tools I demonstrated, this assessment strengthened my skills, which are valuable in any role that requires strategic thinking and evidence-based solutions. Thank you very much.